Welcome to Content Chaos with George and Call, a weekly podcast diving straight into meaningful conversations about navigating modern life. Using their weekly review framework, they explore personal growth, professional insights, and cultural observations. No fluff, just authentic dialogue that transforms chaos into clarity.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. First podcast of the summer of 2026.
That's right. Episode
Yeah.
44.
Yep. For the first day of summer, for the summer solstice, I did sun salutation thing at sauna yoga at 5 a.m. to welcome in the summer solstice. And I was sweating, and it was a good group of people there. And I was wrecked for the whole day. So 5 a.m. 5 a.m. I like getting up early to work out, but 5 a.m. is quite aggressive.
That's excessive, but it's a special once thing. So
Yes. And sun salutations, it's like the original OG yoga posture, and the original people, that all they knew was the sun would mysteriously appear every day and give them warmth and help their crops grow, and that was kind of giving thanks to it.
Yeah, I've done that. That's when I did yoga. That's what we did a lot of was that. And it's kind of, I think, like the original burpee is kind of how I would, very slow burpee.
Yes. All right. Well, so honey, let's start off with what went well this week for you.
Well, first off, thank you for a very nice Father's Day.
You're welcome.
That was one thing that went really well. We got out to brunch. We got to FaceTime with Hayden, and it's just nice to all be together and just hang out. And, I did get a couple of gifts. That's always nice too. I'm wearing one now, my new dad hat. And
Maeve picked that out 100% on her own.
She's got a good eye.
She does. She has strong preferences.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, it was good to see the 18-year-old drove to Boston all on his own, stayed with his sister. They went up into New Hampshire and went on a hike with their brother. It was nice to see the pictures and get the texts. They were also in Boston for another thing that went really well, which was the Scots were all in Boston. Scottish team was playing in Boston for about a week. They had a couple of games there for the World Cup, and everybody's seen, it's really true. Like, the stuff happening in Boston wasn't just for memes. The Scottish people were really fun, and Boston embraced them. And I saw one Bostonian, because the kids were, well, two of them, they were born in Boston. And so, that it was kind of neat for them to be there and, experience Boston. It's neat for Hayden to be there experiencing Boston. But I saw a Bostonian post how the whole week made him realize how nice things could be, how fun things could be, how kind everybody could be, and just like letting everybody do their thing. And I have to say, I've seen one video. The Scots now went to Miami. They're heading south for the rest of the World Cup. And the post was, they put these traffic cones on top of statues, and they did it in Boston. Boston embraced it. They let them climb on the statues. Miami, not so much. Miami, the Scots go up with their traffic cone, they climb the statue, they put the cone on, and then in the video you hear the cop, making them take the cone down, get off the statue. And there's still time for Miami to, smile and welcome them. But anyhow, very different from the get-go. So anyhow, that's all going well, all of that. And how about you?
Yeah, my friends, before I get into that, my friends who live in and around the stadiums in the Newark area, like, the traffic is just like bonkers. It's like intense.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. But it seems like, people are really having fun and enjoying it. And that's good, right? We need some good, happy things going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, I even just enjoyed watching that South Korea versus, what was the team we were watching with Maeve? I loved the uniforms. It was like purple. Was it Japan? No.
No, that was South Korea. South Korea was
No,
in
but who were they playing against? Oh, it was Mexico. It was Mexico.
That's right. That's right.
Right, yeah. But yeah, it's just fun. Okay, so what went well? I'm getting back to, I had kind of fallen off the wagon with my meditation practice and getting back to, I mean, the key is really just consistency and not having this performance mindset, which is a very hard habit to break. You know, you do it and you don't judge it. And so far, so good.
Good.
Also, I've been doing well with my unlearning and engaging, disconnecting. So I'm really kind of changing my media habits and getting away from the depravity horse games, like watching and consulting media sources that are just watching Rome burn and not really advocating for tangible actions, which is what we are called to do. We need to do. And I don't think it's not good for our bodies, our minds, our spirits to just take in hellscape all the time. So I've been unsubscribing from like a lot. I've been really, I say it all the time, but I'm really much less on the social platforms. And yeah, there is a very palpable difference, like in how I physically feel when I have been on my phone and online versus when I haven't. I mean, I physically feel so much better. And yeah, so more of that. Okay. So what went well? What could have been better over the past week?
This one, I had to really think about like what was new that could have been better, and I tried to stay away from the hellscape. Like I could do a 30-minute podcast every day on the hellscape stuff, but my thing personally was tennis, and not how I played, but I realized that the last two clinics we've been in, I just get to a place where I'm just not in it. I'm just sort of, checked out a little bit. Like I think it's the big thing. I think it's just, it ended, right? Our clinic ended. We'll be back in the fall. And I think it was time for the clinic to end. But because I like playing, I like doing the drill and play things where it's not just the, do this 3 times and that 3 times, this shot 3 times. And, it gets very, very, very repetitive. And then by the time we get to where we're playing, sometimes it'd be in a groove and then he'll change it and I'll just be like, I'll just lose it. It's like losing momentum. And I like the cardio stuff. I like just playing with you, just, playing tennis. And so it'll be nice to just get out a couple times a week and just, do that. But the last couple of weeks, I've just been frustrated would be too strong a word, but just not just, kind
You're
of
like, meh.
feeling. Yeah. But I
Yeah.
do. It's just, it goes for months. I mean, I don't remember when this clinic started, but they extended it to where they just have the 2 every year now. So we've been going, we haven't had a break in a long time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I also get meh. I mean, there's a liberating feeling that I literally don't give a shit, like if I do poorly, but then it can spiral out into like, this is a waste of time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like giving yourself the grace to enjoy and be in the moment and play. I mean, you do your best work when you're not thinking about it, when you're not overthinking it.
Yeah.
Um,
Although you did have, when you and I were on the double side together, you had a really good shot that scored a point, and you had a big smile. I know when I turned around, you had a big smile on your face. So you did it. You were definitely you enjoyed scoring that point. Like
okay.
it was a good shot. And I don't know if you remember that, but I look back.
I don't.
And you were like ear to ear. Yeah, it was good. It was a good shot. And it was, I couldn't even explain it so that anybody could understand it. But when you're playing against an opponent, you play against a lot. And I think like they put something at you that they put at us a lot. And you just were like, there'll be none of that today. And you just ended it.
Yeah.
Anyhow. So yeah.
Well,
But
we got to hit up the WhatsApp group. The Anshuman has a WhatsApp group because we got to keep it going over the summer.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we're doing what could have been better?
Yes.
shoot, I can't even, because I'm not doing the hellscape, it's hard to figure out what to focus on. Shoot, what could be better? I don't know. I feel like I don't have a grievance today. That's very unusual. I don't have anything to say. Yeah, if as it relates to the external news. You know what? I got one. I got one. So it's local and it's more informative, I guess. So I've just been what could be better is once again the paucity, the lack of high quality local news. It is so difficult to find, high quality information about what's going on in the state of New Jersey, in, our town of New Providence, of our county of Union. This is kind of the state of the state, and this is part of why our country's having and the world is having a lot of these crises, is that the media ecosystem got, the term is enshittified. People aren't paying attention to their local communities anymore for a variety of reasons. And so ergo, you can't find good information. So I've been trying to figure out what's going on with these AI data centers. So Tressie McMillan Cottom, who is a professor at UNC, and she is a columnist for New York Times. And she pointed out that data centers are a really actually smart angle for Democrats to kind of message around for the November elections, because it's a populist issue. It's people across party lines don't want this crap in their, NIMBY, not my backyard. So, and it's interesting. It's an interesting topic. So I was trying to learn more about what's going on here. In Summit, the next town over, they passed a resolution on the 16th. Thank you, Perplexity, for helping me find this information. And then I did go to the actual, I don't know, it was on patch.com. But they passed a resolution saying there could be no AI data centers that require more than 20 megawatts of energy. I don't really understand all the footprints with energy, but in my further research, I discovered that they already couldn't do that, right? They already couldn't put in AI data centers. So by putting a number on it, now you've kind of given a parameter. And what's happening in other areas is the big tech companies are splitting them up. So it doesn't look like 20 megawatts. They're spread out. So they're kind of So one of the guys voted against the resolution because he's like, look, we need to have this in good faith, have this argument in good faith. And the way it kind of was passed through was disingenuous, which I thought was interesting. And as it relates to New Providence, so that the facility, the Bell Labs, Nokia Bell Labs, that lease is up in 2028. And part of the property is New Providence and part of the property is Berkeley Heights. And that is kind of a dangling thing right now. Most of the stuff is Berkeley Heights, but, theoretically, the borough of New Providence really should work with Berkeley Heights to figure out a strategy and approach to this. So
are they targeting that site? Was that mentioned?
It's one of the, it wasn't mentioned in the article, but it's one of the leases and property sites that often comes up in the borough minutes because it ends in 2028, the Nokia. Nokia's moving their thing to, I don't remember where they're moving it to, but we've always speculated about what we could put, what would be a good resident there. I, for one, don't want an AI data center, but,
Well, these are, I was telling you about the thing that I saw this weekend. We've had data centers forever, since we've been computing, right? And especially with the internet, and the cloud. But these are hyperscaling data centers because and there's so much power and there's so much stuff.
Yes.
So data centers, generically, and they try to make this argument well, every time if you want to keep using these tools, we're going to need data centers. And it's except for the fact that 65 or more of the usage of the data center, the capacity is enterprise, not consumer. And so, and I would think, I know that it is a populist issue because everything I'm seeing when these things go in, there's noise, there's the water. You suddenly can't, do anything with your water. The water is turns brown because they're just sucking all the water out of the system.
Yep.
The power prices go up hundreds of percentages. It's God, I hope they don't put that there.
Yeah, yeah. They were explicit in the summit thing about that, bear not bear, squib, what is it called?
Bristol Myers Squibb.
Bristol Myers Squibb, like, it can't go there, but, yeah, I mean, I don't fully understand it, but I think this is like a very important issue, and I don't think it's certainly not going away. I mean, we saw the kids at Stanford booing Sundar Pichai, and whether that was over AI or over surveillance capitalism, who knows? But this is not popular stuff. So, and one last thing, you said enterprise is 60% of it. And the consumers are not really paying for it yet. Again, it's like largely subsidized. So they're not getting, people who are using it are not getting the real transparency into the cost. And would they be using it at this rate if they had to actually pay for it? I think not.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what could be better. What did you learn?
My learning this week has been largely on the automation front to talk about using AI, but I'm putting together this. I've had a vision for a long time of, being able to just capture all the information that I get in the flow of a conversation without doing data entry, getting it updated into my databases or database. And so I've now figured out a way to do that. And I'm minimizing token usage, by the way. So I am minimizing all of that. So that's a big part of it. But I've just been really, that's been a exercise that will, with it will come reward. And so that was good. I'm just learning more about how to do that. And
Cool.
Yeah. How about yourself?
Cool. I've been doing some really exciting research about education. And, I'm just fascinated by the process of how people learn. And we know the Socratic method, or learn through experience, or learn through talking. But this concept that I've really been exploring ever since I did the Bhutan hypothesis, which I will forever call back to because I loved that nerdy study of mine, is compassion education. And it's not new. I mean, it's kind of been out there for a long time. So do you know what the difference between compassion and empathy is, George, you personally?
Formally, no. I mean, I think I do. Like, empathy is being able to, consider being in somebody else's shoes, so to speak. Compassion would be, how you feel about, like your feeling toward someone. But I'm sure I'm not articulating it well, or it could be way off.
No, it's fine. It's just I think most people don't. I certainly could not articulate it before I was reading these. I mean, I had an intuitive feeling toward it, but basically, the idea is that empathy is a physiological reaction. It's like a biological reaction that you can't help it. It's a feeling. Like if you see someone on the street who's like wounded or hurt or malnourished, you can't help but see them and have a physiological reaction. It affects, your biology, because you get a spike of either cortisol or what's the other one? I can't remember. Adrenaline, or but you get feelings and sensations and stuff like that. Where compassion is kind of the next order of that, where you are not just like a victim to whatever goes by and you have an involuntary reaction. Compassion is where you learn to kind of channel that reaction, those emotions, and take action, and potentially even reframe the emotion. So you're not just stuck in this like passivity. You can actually do positive things. And I love that because I think there's a lot of potential there. It's just like if you compare it to confidence. Confidence is not something that you get because you've prepared. You get confidence by actually doing the thing. Like it's not the preparation, it's actually doing the thing that gives you the confidence. And that's kind of the same thing with compassion. But anyway, it's I'm really learning so much, and it's cool. And the word that I wanted to highlight, I wrote it down. Psychoeducation, which is not a new term. It's from 1977, but it's basically biological, psychological, and social. And, the way we kind of think about things in society has been largely compartmentalized. But when you kind of bring those domains together, you can get some interesting, new tools, resources, ways of thinking. So, yep.
Cool. All right. Well, we did it.
Yes. Yes.
Summer has started.
Summer is here.
All right.
All right. Love you. Thanks,
Thank you.
honey.
Love you.